Man, I completely forgot about
Another
that.
dead Google project. But
Dude, honestly, that is like one of the funniest websites, killedbygoogle.com.
Yep. Yeah, you've
Every-
talked about that on
it's
here.
fucked up out
There's
there.
like 200 fucking projects and programs and hardware and that they've killed over the last.
It's sad. The one that I feel like I'm the most sad about is when they were trying to do modular phones.
Yeah, so that's not totally dead.
Yeah, but
I
dude,
don't think it's gonna come out.
Was it like was it like Google Apex or something?
No,
or?
it was
Legends.
Google Fortnite.
It was like Google like Warzone or something. It was Google.
They're probably working
Overwatch.
on that. Yeah.
It was called Project ARA.
Yeah.
ARA.
Yeah, that's right, man. That
It says it was canceled, but I don't know that it was actually canceled.
That's one of those old YouTube videos that, like, if you accidentally stumble across, you're like, "This is gonna be so dope," and then it's like 2011.
There's a patent that was filed this in June of 2020 that made people think that it was possibly not actually dead.
Dude, that would be dope, but I just feel like carrying around. I think we talked about this. Carrying around little tiles in your pocket could get dicey.
Well, I mean, I think it wouldn't be like that. I think it would be you'd carry a spare battery and maybe that's it. But have maybe a drawer of other like because if I knew I'm gonna go hiking and I want to take pictures that are far away, I swap it out with a telephoto lens or something like that.
We do a lot of hiking.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like as a consumer,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I use my camera like ever. I could replace it with something I would actually use.
you could have a phone with no camera and be fine.
Well, there's a laptop that just came out that has modular bits.
Oh yeah, I watched a video about that.
It was on Lou later. I mean, he's a douche.
And so it's not necessarily okay. So it is modular in the sense that you can open it up and replace pretty much every part.
Well, no, what I saw was essentially it's a laptop where on the side where there would be ports, you can exchange out like a USB for something
It wasn't
else.
Framework?
I don't know what it was called, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure it was Framework was the one that
there was these little square tiles that would go in the side, and it would be like, oh, I don't want the USB port, I want the headphone jack, or like, I don't really remember what the tiles were, but it actually is on the market to buy now.
That's a pretty cool idea for a laptop. Where
I would want to see that because I don't know that we're talking about the same thing.
We might not be. I don't know what it's called, but I
Okay.
think that would be cool.
I just feel like it's a cool idea. It's just, to me, something like that is you're trying to save space with the ports on the side, but if you still have all the stuff inside that makes all that shit work, how does that, like, really, why wouldn't you just put all the ports on the side? Why are you choosing between USB and a headphone jack?
I don't know much about it, and I should have done research about this, but I didn't know we were going to fucking talk about it. I would assume it's like, I think of it almost like a dongle, where it's like instead of two USB-Cs, I want a USB-C and an Ethernet.
No, I get what you're saying. I think it's a funny idea to me where if they already have all that, like, I don't know. I mean, you're right. Like, I got this computer as two USB-C and a headphone jack, but I
showy.
Just use a dongle.
It's more, and I think that's why Project ARA didn't take off, because it was like, that's a cool idea, but in practice, how much is it actually going to be used? Maybe not that much.
Yeah.
It was the Framework modular DIY laptop.
That you were talking about? Or what I was talking
that
about?
Lou mentioned. So I guess the bottom has ports you can swap out too. I didn't know that, but the inside of the Framework notebook is also almost entirely user replaceable. I think the only parts that are soldered together are the CPU on the motherboard, and I don't know if the CPU is removable, but every other part, which is something that's really uncommon for most laptops now, is that they're all soldered together. You can't fucking replace anything in them.
I bet it's thick.
No, they were like, when we were designing the laptop, we wanted it to look like a regular market notebook, and it's fairly thin. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a MacBook Air thin, but it's no Ultrabook, but it's not a fucking, tough book.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's a cool idea, and I think that we definitely need to go back in that direction as like a fucking, like for the consumer. I mean, not everyone's going to replace their shit, but I mean, if you watch, what's his fucking name? Louis Rossmann on YouTube. Every time he does like a New York repair shop for hardware.
Do I know
laptops.
who that is?
He is always someone who's like yelling at the camera all the time. When
Is he like talking about like Apple's right to repair?
Yeah, that's
is he like kind of like tan skin, dark hair, short hair?
Yep.
Okay.
He's super smart, really talented. Like has this amazing setup, like these massive microscopes for repairing and resoldering, chips to boards and stuff. But he's like, yeah, every single time someone comes in here with an Apple product, it's like, I don't have the schematics. I don't know what does what. I have to figure it out myself, which is, he's like, I can do it, but it takes a lot longer. Yeah. And yeah, I've got to use these microscopes to like look at shit and follow fucking, anyway. I think that, I just think that going,
Here we go.
It's really hard to, have devices that are basically e-waste when they're broken. Or like, I have a Surface Book and I tried to open one once at my old job. I tried to open the Surface Pro and I shattered the entire display trying to open it up to get the SSD out, which the SSD was replaceable. It wasn't soldered on, but the glue on that computer was so tight. There's no fucking way I would have been able to open it without shattering the display. So,
that's the trade-off, right? I mean, do you want a computer that's this thin, or do you want?
I don't know. I don't necessarily care how thin it is. Like,
I like thin things, but I also I would love to be able to repair or replace RAM.
Yeah. Well, throwing another stick in the MacBook or a new M1 Mac would be great, but you can't, right?